Well, what a difference a few days makes. Some really heavy downpours in Berkshire and Hampshire, and yeah, waterways are certainly topped up nicely. Really nice amount of rainfall, which is always welcome. And decided to come out today, not as early as I would like. It's 3:30, so time is ticking as such. Lovely cloudy conditions. Decided to come out to a spot of barbel fishing. So what I'm going to do, as the river's up, I've got a light ground bait mix with just a heavy amount of birdseed. Not going to use the bait dropper again. Just going to go with a few light balls in a few swims. I'm going to fish 3 to 4 swims, maybe 5, and I'm going to drop some bait into each one and then fish those in rotation on my way back through. See if I can pick up a barbus. Another one on the centre pin will be absolutely wonderful, especially in these kind of conditions, because you've got the extra flow on, and I think that really will give me a good testing, and I would have thought put me to the sword a bit, but yeah, that's what I'm basically going to be doing today. Just using boilies. I've got hardened boilies, which I've got which have got a hardened centre, and that's a special type of boilie that I've made up with a inner cage to it, which is using like a acrylic bead, a haberdashery bead, and so that allows me to put the bait inside it and give it protection from the crayfish, so they can take off the outer skin, but there still means there's still bait inside for the fish to pick up regardless of the crayfish. And I've also got my standard boilies, which are rolled to be quite a hard bait anyway. So that's the plan today. Fish a few swims, as I say, maybe 4, maybe 5, we'll see. And I am, as it is 3:30, going to fish into darkness and give it a good go in a few swims. As I say, just going to drop in, bait a few swims up, and then fish them in either rotation or as I make my way back along the river. And so, yeah, hopefully drop into a barbel and get a good scrap. That would be just nice. As I say, conditions are absolutely spot on compared to the last trip that I made, where I had that lovely 11 plus fish, and which was really tap water clear the river then and running quite low, and sunny conditions. They're always the one that, as an angler, that puts your watercraft and knowledge and stealth in some ways to a good test. And you can always tell, if you can, generally I say, if you can pick fish up in those kind of conditions, then you should stand a good chance in these. This is spot on. It's a low pressure system. Humidity, which I always check humidity levels. I'm a great believer that drops in humidity and rises really do turn fish on to start feeding quite well. The humidity today is around about 88-87%, so it's still fairly high, but not like it has been, which is scraping onto 94% a few days back when we had that really hot weather for September. Anyway, don't want to witter on too much. I am really chomping at the bit to get fishing, so I'll catch you guys in a bit. Tight lines. As you can see, also I like to roll these as pillows, and that's just basically pressing the boilie table onto the mixture, the base mix, and then it severs it and makes it into like a little pillow shape, a bit like a Shreddies or Kellogg's Crave kind of pillow. And that stops. It's good in fast conditions, because being an elliptical shape, it doesn't roll about and move off position so much. Just a few baits there, nothing too extensively heavy. Now that's the mixture. It's only a loose mix, but you can see the amount of birdseed I like to use. Just carry it to the bottom, gives it a little bit of weight. I've added a little bit in with the aniseed that's already on the birdseed. I've added a little bit of almond extract. And just find that just does give a nice little edge to it. Mixed in with the aniseed, it gives it a very sweet marzipan meets aniseed flavour. And that does, I feel, it just gives you a little bit of a kick to the mixture. just 5 or 6 whole boilies split in half halfway through, just to release the flavour more, because when you do boil your baits it does seal in the flavour. And a few little halves. Just going to pop in some seed here as well. It's a nice section though. Got a area of reed maize, goes round to a nice bend, shallows up quite a lot. It's a very gravelly area, so yeah, fish this one as I'm making my way back through. Always hits the tree when you don't want it to. Yet if you aim for the tree, guarantee you wouldn't hit it. Nice little break in the pace there. Nice area to drop a little bit of the seed in. Allow it to permeate downstream. Oh, that was, I don't know if the camera caught that, but there was a strike on the opposite bank, and I think that was a brown trout. Very pacey and shallow area. Good when the river's up though. Can be reasonable when it's down and clear, but usually you'll see chub moving in and off the gravels, spooking very easy. That's it, no more than that. I'm not going to put any free bait offerings in here. If I fish this swim on the way back through, it will be literally with a single boilie and 2, maybe 3 at the most, boilies broken in half around as a free offering. Always want to put too much in some swims. I mean, you see I'm quite frugal anyway with the amount I use. There's some swims who get a lesser amount than others. Just mix things up a little bit, because if the fish are in a bit of an apprehensive mood, even with the water being coloured, it can pay to have swims that, if you are rotating or if you're going through and fishing a few swims that you've baited, it pays to have a few of those that you bait a little bit lower, less amount. It just allows you to mix it up. And I always say you can't take out what you've already put in. So you shouldn't put all your eggs, or all your ground bait eggs, in one basket. Never. It's not wise. Not on small rivers. Well, just a couple of short, sharp taps in that first swim. Moved a little bit down from there by about 8 to 10 metres, not that far. And just giving this spot a little go, but nothing doing here at the moment. So I'm going to start making my way back down to those other swims that I trickled some bait into earlier. So fingers crossed there's a barbus about, but maybe there won't be. We'll see. yes. Times 8:40. Oh, that was wish I could at times get you guys hearing the centre pin scream off on these short videos. I'll tell you what, the rod nearly launched like a brilliant Exocet missile, and the drag on the or the check on the pin just went manic, absolutely manic. Oh, there we go, very nice. Looks a healthy fish. Absolutely frisky. Not a million miles away from being £7, not a massive fish. £6.12. But I tell you what, love them all, large or small. And I tell you what, they really do give a good scrap. I reckon in the £6 to £10 bracket, or £6 to £9 bracket, they're probably one of the most fighting fish of their class weight compared to some of the larger barbel. I mean, these small ones, they certainly go. And I tell you what, it's in lovely nick. Look at that paddle. It's like a freshwater shark. But yeah, very nice. I just draw myself back so you can see it properly. There we go. As I say, not the largest barbel I've caught, but certainly welcome, and very nice. £6, 12 ounces of bristling Loddon barbers, and it keeps my lucky run going at the moment. That's 3 barbel on 3 barbel trips on the Loddon. Happy days. Get her off home, eh? Or him. Got a little bit of marking on the back of the head here. Apart from that, it's in very, very nice condition. One last little look at her. There we go. Happy days. Hey, get me a little soaking too. Even better. Yes. Right, just thought I'd run you through my rig. It is really much a case of keep it simple, stupid, or KISS. So, here we go. See, let that focus on that a little bit. I say size 8. I normally use 6s. That's a size 8. Palatrax, the hook, little Gardner liner there, just to give that nice added kick when the fish picks up the bait. It just helps flip the hook over. Standard hair rig, nothing special there. I usually use a little extender stock for my boilies, and that's come out during the scrap with this fish. And running up from there, nice piece of putty, tungsten putty, that just helps pin it down. And I also have a blob further up which has actually come off during the scrap. And the main reason I usually fish this between 2.5 inches from the hook itself, and that just helps not only obviously pin it down, having a few bits of this dotted along it, but it also helps minimise hook pulls, because as the fish picks it up and shakes its head, it helps just add that extra bit of weight to pull it into the fish's lip. And it's just a running rig basically. So up from there you've got the braid that I'm using. This on this occasion is 12-pound Drenham sink braid. Absolutely love this stuff. It's not always the best braid to use for snaggy situations. It's not coated, obviously it is a supple braid, but I absolutely adore it. I use it in 10, 12 and 15. Up from there, got a nice little anti-tangle tube. Just as you're casting, it just kicks the bait away, helps to keep that supple braid pushed out and keeps the bait pushed away from tangling with your main line or your leisure weight. And then behind that, as you can see, there's a little Enterprise protector bead going over the swivel and the anti-tangle kicker or anti-tangle rubber tubing. And then on from there, using I believe this is a 1.5 ounce gripper tonight. There's a little bit of flow on, so I didn't use my bottle lead like I normally use. On there, got a nice, I don't know how well you can see that actually, I'm trying to, there we go, nice little quick change run ring. That's really large bore size, so the fish don't feel any resistance. It's nice and large diameter, very smooth. I believe it's PTFE coated or Teflon coated, and just gives you a very nice running rig. And as I say, it's quick change, so all I've got to do, I can pop that off, lift up the rubber tubing, pop it off, and switch over to a larger weight, smaller weight. If I want to use a feeder, I can do. Then up from there, just a little way up, a nice little piece of putty on a little rig stop. Now that does two things. Come autumn time or later in the year, you do get weed come down, you get leaves and stuff. It acts as a little bit of a boon and protection from covering your main rig, so that you don't get so many leaves covering your bait and such. But the main reason for this, and this is around about 4.5 or 4 foot from the actual protector bead, the main reason for that is so I can pin down the line that's in the actual circumference or area that I'm fishing. So basically, if the fish are moving in and out, there's less chance of them hitting it and spooking. Now, as I say, that's tungsten putty just wrapped around a rig stop, but you haven't got to use that. You can use it, although the density of this is better than what I'm going to suggest. You can use plasticine and use that as a little sinker to pin your main line down, or you can use a flying back lead. And what you do with that is you use 2 soft rig stops, so if the fish did get snagged or did snap you, it could pull the actual back lead off. So flying back lead, it normally works on the actual technicality of that you cast overhead. The force and velocity of your casting sends a back lead up the line. Obviously on small rivers such as the Loddon, Blackwater, Kennet, etc., you're not going to be overheading and managing to push that back lead up the line. So with flying back lead on the line, what you would do is a little bit further up the line, just pin it with 2 soft rig stops. I emphasise soft rig stops because that way the fish can, if you do get snapped and the fish is trailing it, can pull those through very easily and ditch the flying back lead. So you'd have a rig stop here, soft rig stop, I'm emphasising that, and a soft rig stop here, and then the back lead here. Now the reason, you don't have to use a rig stop behind the flying back lead, but when you do get the flow that we can get when it gets flooded, what you'll find is if you've got just 1 soft rig stop and the flying back lead just here and running free, it will go up the line, slide up, and it will lift your main line up, and it will be even more conspicuous than before. So soft rig stop behind the flying back lead, soft rig stop in front, and it's just trapped there and it can move a little bit. And that's I usually place that, if I am using flying back lead that's trapped, I usually use it about 4 foot above where the protector bead is, where the running rig will end and terminate where the link measure hits the protector bead. So 4 foot above usually gives me enough room to manoeuvre if fish are moving in and out of swims and they're going to spook, and just helps pin the line down. But on these occasions, summertime and now, even though the river's up, I mean it's not up like it can be, just as I say, using a little soft rig stop with tungsten putty wrapped around it, and that does the job fine, just helps it pin down. Main line, this is 12-pound Shimano Technium Invisitech. I've been using this since last season. I started last season with my link lettering, which you know I enjoy doing. Started using that in 6-pound, and I was really impressed. Very low stretch, great abrasion resistance, and very supple. I've heard positive things, less positive in the 15-pound class. Not because it isn't a good line in that breaking strain, but because it becomes a bit wiry and a bit springy. But I've got to say, I've been using it in 6, 10, 12, and I have got a couple of carp rods that I use it on in 15, and that is a bit more springy. It's no less as good, it is still decent, but for being supple, I think 12-pound is where it's at for the Invisitech. But yep, that's it really. So straightforward rig, nothing special. Well, it's a very enjoyable trip. Didn't get cast out till 4ish, and tried quite a few of those swims. One of the ones that I baited I didn't fish. That was because I was running short on time. But yeah, how enjoyable was that? I was just into, I must say, you know, from the shape of me, I do like my food, and I was into a packet of ginger snap biscuits. Very Moorish they are, very tasty. And just as I was going to the packet to take another one out to eat, I just went like that, and I saw the rod just literally twitched once and then just took off from the rest, and the pin screamed off downstream. Absolutely wonderful scrap. Not the largest barbel I've ever caught, but heck, I'll take consistency any day of the week, and it's been absolutely thrilling. Last 3 trips on the Loddon and 3 captures on the bounce, so you know, that's just wonderful to have that kind of consistency. But as I say, as much as there's watercraft involved, you always need a bit of luck and a bit of rub of the green, and I am getting that at the moment on these barbel trips on this particular waterway, so really happy about that. Anyway, I've got most of my tackle cleared up. I need to just clear up this camera. I'd just like to say, you know, I looked at my YouTube channel a couple of days ago, and I saw that I've gone over 2,500 subscribers. Now I know that's not a lot compared to some channels, but to myself, I started the channel back in 2007 and I never envisaged uploading as many videos as I do now. I only ever had about 14 to 18 subscribers, and just to see that amount of subscribers now, and everyone, you know, enjoying the videos and commenting, and you making it what it is, as much as my content being uploaded, you taking the time to view the videos. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone. I really do, absolutely heartfelt thank you. As I say, it's not a lot compared to some channels subscriber wise, but I'm absolutely, well, I'm over the bloody moon, if you want the truth. Anyway, if you have liked the video, give us a like, click that like button, that'd be really appreciated. If you haven't liked it, I suppose you might have to click the dislike button. Well, I hope you don't, obviously, but no, fair enough. If you haven't liked it, that's thoroughly your choice. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button. Keep yourself up to date with the videos that I post, the diaries that I upload, and the different styles of videoing. Sometimes they're more vlog-like in the sense of diaries as I'm fishing, and some are more in-depth filming with the fishing, so they do vary a bit. Anyway, I'm going to get packed up. As I say, got the action camera to put away, got my bucket to put the lid on, and I can hear rats or mice squeaking away nearby, which can only mean one thing: they're probably trying to nick a bit of birdseed. Anyway, thanks again guys, thanks for subscribing, thanks for taking the time to give your input on the channel, taking the time to comment. Yeah, just thanks in general. Till next time, this has been your fisherman on the bank. Joking aside, till next time, tight lines guys, bye bye.